Okay, and now there is a question to Mr. Jin.
Yes.
Do you think that financial stimulus, which is given in developing countries, is the best solution to save people from lower middle income states? Any possible recommendations?
Yes. So first, thank you for your question. Um, I think it's hard to say the best solution uh, by supplying or the by providing financial stimulus in the lower middle income state. But I think in the COVID-19 period pandemic, it's quite necessary to have the financial stimulus to because it is good for the economic recovery in these countries, and also it can help the poor people to restart their work and to earn some money to maintain their basic living. And that's the answer for the first question. And any possible recommendations? Like I have said, there is no like in my opinion there is no universal like solutions to a into the case to solve the poverty issues. But just use my research as an example. I researched the solar energy for poverty alleviation program. So I think for some regions, if they have abundant solar resources, then they can use solar energy for the poverty alleviation. And I think there are some other attempts, not only in China, but also in Africa and countries. So maybe the solar energy is it's kind of choice to help the poor people. So that's all for my answer. Thank you.
Yeah, it's well kind of obvious, but it's better to use all these local resources when um, formulating like a policy response or financial stimulus, right? Next question is about the impact of COVID-19 on cultural industries. Have you thought about the impact on tourism industries in developing countries whose economy highly relies on inbound international tourists? I'm very much concerned about people whose livelihoods are badly affected. So this is to you, Hang.
Yes. I also saw this problem because when I search information about museums, in fact, those large museums, 70% of tourism are international tourisms. And because there's a global crisis, they can no longer have those kind of revenues from incomes from those tickets. And I also follow the zoo in Russia and follow how it was developed during this crisis. And they just reopened like several days ago. And I found most of this kind of places that they're offering tourism as their main industry, they always face, they almost face same question, this same problem that they have limited cash flow, or they don't have enough cash flow and they may bankrupt before the COVID-19 goes. So I saw the one solution they did is take some short videos and upload to short video platform, not only for advertising, but also a way for gathering funding from the internet. And so it's because, as I also mentioned in video game industry, find a channel to access to the fundings is now very difficult for those small businesses. While using this new technology, use internet, now can be a better way to access to the fundings. So maybe this can answer your question.
Okay, I think if there are further questions, we will see on the chat or it will come directly. So one question for Ms. Ni. I understand that your research is based on what happened in China, but how do you apply your research to developing countries, especially Southeast Asian countries? Could it be applied there? My understanding is that if it can be applied well in advanced countries, then it should be, the adjustment in developing countries should be not much. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So Ms. Ni.
So thank you for the questions. So of course, there should be some adjustment, and the adjustment can be big or can be not that big. So based on the situation of every country is very different. So every country relies on different kind of industries as the main support of the economic. So therefore, though the Southeast Asian countries are currently enjoy many similarities with China, as they have many main industries as the same one as China. However, there are still existing the difference. So my opinion is, of course, I think my research can partly be applied for the developing countries. However, I think because the startups research and venture capital market research is very specific. So you need to, based on the different situation, maybe the different leading policy in different countries may lead to the different results. So therefore, besides directly apply to the developing countries, to analyze the differentiation in the different countries is also very important in my opinion.